Xmas is an abbreviation of Christmas found particularly in print, based on the initial letter X. Christmas is an annual festival observed primarily on December 25th as a religious and cultural celebration among billions of people around the world, commemorating the birth of Jesus Christ, also referred to as Jesus of Nazareth. According to the Bible, Jesus was a Jewish preacher and religious figure who lived in the first century. Most Christians consider him to be the incarnation of God the Son and the long-awaited Messiah predicted in the Hebrew chapter. Christmas Day is a public holiday observed religiously by most Christians and culturally celebrated by many non-Christians. It also plays a significant role in the holiday season that is around it. Having explained what Christmas is, let's focus on how it all started. To know the origin of Xmas, there are so many questions to be answered, since Xmas is about the celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ. Then we need to know the date he was born. Although neither the Gospels nor the historical sources mention Jesus' birthday, most biblical scholars believe he was born between 4 and 6 BC, adding that the historical information is insufficient to permit precise dating. The year was calculated using 3 alternative methods. The first step is looking up references to well-known historical occurrences described in the book of Luke and Matthew native stories. The second step is working backward from the estimated beginning of Jesus' ministry, and the third step is looking up astrological and astronomical alignments. Nevertheless, the nativity sequences included in the Gospels of Matthew and Luke prompted early Christian writers to suggest various dates for the anniversary. According to history, the first recorded Christmas celebration was in Rome on December 25, AD 336. Since the birth of Jesus Christ's date is unknown, we need to ask why the proposed date was chosen. December 25 was chosen as a holiday because it was the winter solstice. According to the Roman calendar, it fell 9 months after the vernal equinox of March 25, and it was a day associated with Jesus' conception. Even though it happened on the 23rd or 24th at the time, St. Augustine outlined why this day was appropriate to commemorate Christ's birth in the sermon from the latter part of the 4th century. It says, "Therefore, he was born on the day that, according to our worldly reckoning, is the shortest, and from which successive days start to get longer. He consequently chooses the shortest day, but also the one where light starts to get stronger, to lower himself and elevate us up." However, Stephen Higmans of the University of Alberta asserts that it is cosmic symbolism that inspired the church leadership in Rome to elect Southern Solstice, December 25, as the birthday of Christ, and the Northern Solstice as that of John the Baptist, supplemented by the equinoxes as the respective dates of conception. Meanwhile, early Christian writers did not include Christmas on their list of holidays. According to the chronograph of 354, a Christmas celebration was held in Rome 8 days before the calendar turned to January. Then, let's check the controversy surrounding the celebration of Christmas on the 25th of December and the era it was banned. According to the rivalry history of religions theory, the church chose December 25 as a day to usurp Roman celebrations in honor of the sun god Sol Invictus. German Protestant Paul Ernest Jablonski said in 1743 that Christmas was a paganization that debased the rich church because it was observed on December 25 to coincide with the Roman solar celebration called Dies Natalis Solis Invicti. On the other hand, it was confirmed that Emperor Aurelian, who established the holiday of the Dies Natalis Solis Invicti in 274 as a pagan celebration of a date significant to Christians in Rome, did so as an effort to give the date a pagan importance. The 4th century Arian debate included Christmas as a factor. After this debate was resolved, the holiday notoriety waned for a few centuries. When Charlemagne was crowned emperor on Christmas Day in the year 800, the feast rose to prominence once more. Christmas was outlawed in Puritan England because of belief that it was a Catholic invention and that it was a day for drunkenness and other bad behavior. When Puritan legislation was invalid in England in 1660, the festive returned as a legal holiday, but some people continued to show less regard. After the Soviet Union's founding in 1917, Christmas and other Christian holidays became outlawed under the country's official atheism. The League of Militant Atheists instigated a campaign against Easter, Christmas traditions like the Christmas tree, and other Christian holidays in the 1920s, 1930s, and 1940s. In replacement, the League created anti-religious holiday to be celebrated on the last day of every month. Children in Moscow were encouraged to spit on crucifixes on Christmas Day in 1929, accumulating to the height of the persecution to protest the celebration. However, the new year was given more significance along with all its accoutrements like the Christmas tree and gift giving. The persecution did not end, and Orthodox Christmas stopped being a public holiday in Russia for the first time in 7 decades until the breakup of the Soviet Union in 1991. Between 1637 and 1690, the Presbyterian-dominated Scottish Parliament issued many laws making it illegal to celebrate Christmas. The day did not become an official holiday in Scotland until 1958. Alleged assault on Christmas was highlighted by some Christians and organizations, including Pat Robertson America Center for Law and Justice, dubbed as War on Christmas. Happy holidays and inclusion for the Jewish holidays of Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and Human Light has been taking the place of the phrase Merry Christmas in U.S. Opponents have criticized the use of the phrase holidays and the avoidance of the name Christmas in the US and Canada, where it is frequently used. Here is the era Christmas became popular and how it was celebrated. The celebration had grown so popular by the High Middle Ages that chroniclers regularly recorded the locations of various magnates' Christmas celebrations. In 1377, King Richard II of England organized a Christmas banquet and 300 sheep were consumed. A typical element of medieval Christmas feast was the Yule Ball. Additionally, caroling, an event first performed by a group of choreographers, gained popularity. A lead singer and a circle of dancers served as the chorus for the group. Ivy, holly, and other evergreens were used during the public celebration of Christmas at the time. Back then, Christmas gifts were typically sent between parties who had legal obligations, such as tenants and a landlord. By the 17th century, opulent banquets, elaborate maxes, and pageants were rampant over the Christmas season in England due to the annual overindulgence in eating, dancing, singing, sports, and card games. King James I mandated in 1607 a performance on Christmas Eve and that the courts partakes in sports. Many Protestants changed the gift giver to the Christ child during the Reformation in 16th to 17th century in Europe. They also changed the date of gift giving from December 6 to Christmas Eve. Yuletide celebrations and services became widely accepted in the early 19th century with the growth of the Oxford movement in the Church of England. With more emphasis on the significance of Christmas in Christianity and charitable giving. Recently, church attendance, decorations, nativity play, music carols, commemorative stamps, traditional cuisine, cards, gift giving, including gift-bearing figures such as Father Christmas, known as Santa Claus, topped the Christmas Day list. For centuries, pagan communities in Europe have celebrated during the middle of winter. There were other justifications before and during the early years of Christianity, including the fact that less agricultural work is needed during the winter and the anticipation of improved weather as spring neared. The pre-Christian Germanic people, who included the Anglo-Saxon and the Norse, celebrated a winter celebration known as Yule in late December or early January. This event gave rise to the current English word Yule, which is now used interchangeably with Christmas. Numerous parts of contemporary Christmas folklore and iconography such as the Yule log, Yule boar, and Yule goat may have their roots in Yule in Germanic language-speaking regions. Setting ablaze of the Christmas block may have been a Christian creation from the early modern period that had nothing to do with the pagan custom, since there was no verifiable extant references to a Christmas log until the 16th century. Likewise, ancient pagan method was into Christian celebrations in Eastern Europe. An example is Coleda, adapted into Christmas carol. In many countries, the Christmas season is traditionally a period of peak sales for retailers. Sales soar as people buy supplies, presents, and decorations for the occasion. On the other hand, Christmas Day is typically the least busy day for business and trade in Western countries. Whether or not laws demand it, almost all retail, commercial, and institutional establishments close, and practically all industries stop operations. To end, Christmas has been under fire from a variety of Christian and non-Christian sources, although many of the newer faiths, including the old, have continued to celebrate it. The Free Presbyterian Church of Scotland, the Reformed Presbyterian Church of North America, and the Jehovah's Witnesses are modern conservative Reformed organizations who has rejected the celebration of Christmas due to the regulative principle and what they see to be its unbiblical origin.